Hi, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing a Chatty draw with me video. I'm very excited. I'm going to be drawing on my iPad, so I will be broadcasting that to y'all. And yeah, I just want to talk about some common / anecdotal experiences and thoughts about accepting the artist in you, that you are an artist. Welcome to this portion of the Draw With Me, where you watch me sketch and I ramble. So the first point I kind of wanted to touch on is the feeling that we get when trying to explain ourselves, our work, to anybody outside, to anybody else, really. And there are different degrees of this. Because obviously our closer loved ones are in a different category than the random stranger or the acquaintance, things like that. The loved ones around us and that we care about and they care about us, it's a whole other monster to tackle because we care about what they think and hold it closer. So most of the time we have the tendency to want to make them proud of us or be accepted or praised or validated, and not every person that cares for you is going to care for you in the way of doing that, of validating your decisions, because another aspect of caring about someone is wanting the best for them, and it's okay if there's hesitancy of what you want to do and what others perceive as what is best for you to do. Those are okay, like, conversations to have. So I wouldn't beat yourself up about it, and you just have to process it with a grain of salt and know it's coming from care, but also address it in the way that you are realistic and certain in your ability to pursue whatever variation of being a creative that you want. So I think that every degree should be taken equally as seriously, in the sense that the amount of time or effort you put forth into being creative and doing the artistic things that you like doing does not equal how much worth it has to you. So I think that definitely the loved ones are a lot more difficult to have these conversations with. And as for the more removed people that are not so close to the heart, that is where I say I tune it out. This person has zero affiliation with how I'm going to value myself, and not in a disrespectful way, just in a people say things very quickly and easily with very little information to go off of. So I'm not going to value it as anywhere near people or myself who have way more information about what is going on. There's so many aspects that you can't really make a quick judgment about, and it's just silly to take their opinion as an educated opinion. The next segue is kind of regarding the aspect of explaining yourself in the way that you feel you need to have a body of work behind you to be an artist or explain yourself. Like, you have to have this massive portfolio and it has to be perfect, and all of these things that take a lot of time are not gonna come to you instantly. So you have to be in the mindset and create before you can have that portfolio. And if you're letting the fear of not being taken seriously, not being considered an artist, not being good enough, as a deterrent from creating, then it's counterintuitive and slows the process of building up any amount of works. So I would say just create. It seems simple, but there's obviously a reason that it is hard to remember these things, even though they seem simple and they seem like the nature of what you want to do. The brain gets in the way. Having nothing to stand behind you, or I should say having the feeling of, quote, nothing, I think does not say much about quality of the artist. There's just a feasible amount of time to make works. And if you're just making works to fill up a portfolio, it's not going to be your best, and it's not going to feel like you made it. You're going to feel very disconnected from just plug and chug works. It's not sustainable also. And with that, I think another barrier that prevents us from creating is the fear of lacking a style, or feeling like we don't have a solidified way to stand out. And I think that this prevents us from creating while staring at the blank canvas kind of feeling. It feels like nothing to build upon, an overwhelming sense of need to brain dump and all these kind of things. So there's many elements to it that are overwhelming if you look at it like a checklist. I need to have these colors, I need to have a standout brush stroke, very specific things that we can recognize in other artists' work. If you go into it with that checklist, it's a lot more daunting because that's not how it's created. A natural style is gonna form as you create. So the more you create, the more it will be in your own style. And if you have these barriers of needing to meet a checklist, then it will not be your natural style. It will not be the way that you would draw an item or the way that you would draw a person. It will be stressful and have a lot of friction to creating. And I think that the more you create, the more it kind of focuses in on the flow of a style, and then that flow can progress with you and change all the time. Your style is always changing and you are creating new work. So that is a positive thing that your style is changing, because mostly it's growing, mostly it's being refined, and you're getting more comfortable with all these types of things that you then will feel later on is your style, or others will perceive as your style before you will. Along with the daunting task of establishing a style, I think an equally daunting is just the vast possibilities of what there is to create. I personally work in several mediums to help with this because I want to create everything ever, all the time. I have 10 projects that I want to do, 10 random doodles that I want to make into a painting or graphic art or make a print of or anything all the time. And it seems just so overwhelming because I want it done all the time. Like I want it immediately every time I think of something. And that's the initial pull that I try to like fight against, because I want to create. I'm not a manufacturing plant of art. I want to like have the experience of making it also. And that's kind of easy to forget when you're in the headspace of trying to prove yourself through creating, or trying to buff up the portfolio, make the style. Like you get lost in every other aspect other than creating. So I think brain dumping, just getting a giant notes going, or pictures of random inspiration and making like an album, anything where it's just a full like chaos mess of brain dump creative ideas, I think is the best way to get that initial jolt of wanting it done now out of the system. And there are a lot of the things on my brain dump lists or albums that I will never create because I do not have the ability to create everything. But it gives more peace of mind in the comfort that this creative thought is not just lost into the vast, that I have it, it's still with me, but I can take my time. I got this creative thought out of me, and the work and the creative process and the enjoyment of actually making it can be much more utilized and cherished now that I feel like I'm not going to just lose this idea and it's just going to vanish from me. So I think a brain dump list is how I like to do everything, but it's especially good for creative ideas when I'm feeling overwhelmed by the amount of ideas or inspirations that I have at any moment. And I think the similar overwhelming feeling and anxieties about our art, it makes sense. It's connected to you. It's an extension of you. You've created it, first of all. But there's so much more to it than when you're putting it into existence in the physical world. You've thought about it. You've had thought processes while making it. You've had reoccurring themes maybe, or this is a one-off thought or expression that you're exploring. And all of it is so essential and powerful for creating your worldview. So it makes sense that something so powerful and tangible to you can be frustrating to express to other people. And these frustrations can be really amplified when any external noise is being put into them. Any comments that are not in line with your vision can be hurtful. They can feel like an insult. Even a comment of just not understanding something that you have created that is a completely innocent comment or just another valid interpretation. And I think that removing ourselves from that headspace is very essential for being able to move throughout this creative process. How we value our own process and thoughts and creations versus how others perceive it. Trust your own thoughts and evaluations a lot more than other people. And I think some comfort is provided through that. So I hope my rambling and brain dump of these topics have shed any positive or constructive light onto your practice. I really enjoyed drawing and hanging out. So definitely leave a comment if you want to chat about anything I talked about. I would love that. And I hope you have a very nice rest of your day. And for the studio vlog that I am currently recording, and it should be published very soon. Bye.